Yeah, hello everybody, this video is going to be about Stonehenge. Me and Mickey were watching this the other day. It's quite incredible. What it is they've now found these circles of these pits. These pits, well, let's go back to the picture. There you go. What they've done is they've used, what do you call it, just equipment. And what it is they found all these holes, and it kind of makes a circle, doesn't it?
Penetrating radar.
And what they said was that they're 5 meters deep, and a small house could fit in one of them. So it's not actually quite on Stonehenge, it's next to Stonehenge, round a barrow. They found a barrow in the middle. I mean, I had more videos, but they just wouldn't come over to Facebook. But I think this video is enough to show the barrows, the holes. So we'll talk after you've seen the little video about the holes in the ground.
Might not have been made by ancient Neolithic people at all, but by nature. Several years earlier, not far from Vince's site, archaeologist Matt Levers was called in to survey land beneath a proposed housing development.
This is Stonehenge.
We had to come in advance of any of the construction work to check the area beforehand.
While looking for signs of ancient archaeology back in 2016, Matt detected something surprisingly similar to Vince's giant underground pits.
These are about the pits that nobody seems to know about near Stonehenge.
Plot that we carried out, then you can see the 3 very obvious black marks.
A line of huge underground formations. But crucially, Matt's theory on the pit's origins is very different from Vince's.
It seemed to us all along that these things were sinkholes.
Sinkholes form when underground water dissolves the chalk layer and the ground above collapses. Matt believes what he found could actually have been caused by an underground river.
The topography that you can see in the contours on this map show that there's an old watercourse here that runs down as a tributary of the Avon. So the sinkholes that we found form a line that follows the topography, follows the dry valley.
Suddenly, for Vince, there's a possibility that his discovery could be a fluke of nature rather than a giant arc of openings dug by ancient people. Because when Matt's sinkholes are plotted on a map next to Vince's newly found giant arc, they seem to form an alarmingly similar pattern. But Vince thinks the features he's discovered are different.
The majority of the features that we have located are not in dry valleys. They cross over ridges. These are not places that sinkholes would form naturally.
But the only way to determine whether or not they're natural is to map the structures beneath the ground. The team returns to the first anomaly, Pit 1A. The initial magnetometry survey could only give an outline of the opening. So it's time for some more tech. To see deeper, they plan to use electricity to probe the hidden ground and create an entire 3D scan of the pit.
I've put a whole line of electrodes through the center of the pit, and I'm injecting electricity into the ground.
It should be able to map the sides and base of Pit 1A, revealing if it is something man-made or just another natural sinkhole.
Look how low those clouds are.
With all the data crunched, the team can find out if the electrical soil experiment has worked. Could this arc of pits really be the biggest find at Stonehenge in decades?
What's your thoughts? It was a little bit interesting when we saw the video, wasn't it, Mickey? Like, I'd never heard of these holes near Stonehenge.
Obviously, they've been hunting around for it.
But later on in the bit you can't see, they said there was another barrow there, and the circle around it. I mean, you could have thought maybe that was for catching animals.
Yeah, to trap
And then you know, more than likely, if they've got so many going around, half the time they'd pick up the animals would drop into there and they'd capture them.
Well, I know what you mean. They're like catch a pen, you know,
Well, I have thought
there had to be a big animal to cover that over because they've got to fall into it.
Do you think they were open then?
Yeah, you can keep open pits. Animals will fall into them eventually. Break a leg when they fall.
So what do you think the pits were for?
Well, the thing was, they was on like a celestial. They were bending, weren't they? Like they're going half a circle.
Well, it's a full circle. It goes like that, and the barrow's in the middle.
Yeah, but where's the top part? So kind of giving the circles on the right and circles on the left of it.
Yeah, because they haven't dug it all, have they?
Yeah.
But that's what
Do you
that's the
reckon?
bit they were showing. But
But do you reckon it'll do a whole circle if they find
I
it?
don't know. Well, I'm just asking you, what do you think they were for?
It could be yet again celestial. To stars and moon and
Is that what you think?
Could well be.
I've got a wounded soldier here,
I find
everybody.
You know, when you dig
Mickey, wait a minute, Mickey's hurt his eye. He's
Yeah.
sitting there and he's looking at me with one eye
just
closed.
about able to talk. I'm in a lot of pain, throbbing eye.
He did something in my garden and this twig caught his eye. So he's going to go to the hospital tomorrow because he thinks that maybe he's going to lose his eye.
Yeah, I'll give it to you anyway.
No, but it hurts.
One-eyed
He's going to
Jack.
go and get it checked out to make sure there's not a bit of tree in there.
Yeah, as you do, you give it a couple of days.
But we both picked up a cold.
up.
Anyway, back to this. They're both coughing. Yeah, I just thought this was very interesting because all the research and all this trouble, you know, like they've got a military force around Stonehenge. And you wait all this time before they tell you, like it's probably about a quarter of a mile, maybe less than
Away
that.
from it.
300 yards?
No,
400 yards?
it's longer than that.
To that place?
Yeah.
It's only about a quarter of a mile. It's on the same map.
Yeah, it's on the same side as well.
Yeah, so they find all these holes in the ground.
Yeah. It's new to us, isn't it?
Well, I've never
New
heard of it
discovery.
before.
No,
Yeah,
no,
and
neither.
Marie Wheatley never told me about these holes.
No, exactly.
But you know what? If you look at an aerial picture around Stonehenge, you can see there are other circles there.
You see that?
And this is another circle, so many fields across.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very interesting that these big holes have appeared. So, anyway, so what's everybody's thoughts?
Yeah. Well, in one of these clips that we saw, I loved the way they were digging them out. Remember, like antlers.
Oh yes, we didn't record that bit. What it was is they brought this historian along, and she had an antler which had like, you know, once you actually take the end of it, it's a bit like having a pick.
Yeah.
But he said, well, it's okay for this bit here,
Soft
but what
mud.
about for when it's deeper and she
Soft
gets a
mud.
stone out and bangs it on top of the antler, and she thinks that that's
hammer
going
and
to
chisel.
separate the earth. Do you know something? When they were going to do the bypass in
You get nothing.
Newbury, I protested, and what it was is they said that they wouldn't knock any of the trees down if the birds had started to, you know, to have their babies, which they had. They still knocked them down. But we went and protected one oak. It's called Middle Oak, and it's part of this whole thing round trying to stop the bypass. And what happened was, as we started to dig, we got about 3 or 4 inches down, and it turned into flint, and we couldn't get any deeper than that. So, okay, they've picked a good area to dig their holes, but it can't all just be sludge to dig out. You probably had flints and things, which would be really difficult. So an antler's not really going to help, is it? And she was trying to show you with an antler, but it was all ridiculous, wasn't it? It's just a joke. Got these perfect round circles. Yeah. Anyway,
By an antler.
has anybody heard of these circles next to Stonehenge? Anyway, what's your thoughts? Anything else to say, Mickey?
Nah, what's your thoughts? Definitely.
What is your thoughts? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mickey.
There you go.
That's